Hey, motherfuckers, it's Boangani. I come to you today with a very important message that must get to those that it's applicable for. You know what I mean? You have to understand a couple of concepts. A, it is important for you to ask questions. Always ask questions and always do independent research. I'm not so egotistical that I'm going to sit here and tell you that I know everything and I've made it to the top and there's nothing above me, below me, before me, after me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. Simply because I'm a pupil to life. And so there's always information I'm learning. I mean, every day, whatever situation I find myself in, I can learn from that situation. Even if it's one that proves to be somewhat consequential, I know that um, I'm learning from that. You know what I mean? So that I can make progress based upon that experience. I would argue that failure and success are an opposites attract pair. You know what I mean? And I would argue that failure is as important as success because if it's not for failure, you would not really succeed at very much. You might have one or two things or a few things that you can do one time and you're successful at, right? But to say that for a whole entire lifeline, no, that's just, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know everything. I don't. But I'll tell you this: what I do know, I know, and it's not. It's no longer a matter of me believing that I know this. It's a matter that I know this empirically. And you can argue with me if you want to. You're not really going to argue with me because I'm not really going to give you the opportunity to, because simply you are probably not going to be at. And listen, when I tell you that, when I say that phrase, that I am at a advanced level, you have to understand that it doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody, honestly. And I don't even believe that. I'm a very humble individual, right? That's why my name is Boangani. It means the grateful one. I chose my name because I knew it defined me, right? I'm always grateful. And I appreciate the smallest things to the biggest of things. It doesn't matter. I just appreciate the concern, the thought, the care, you know. In this society at this time, being a caring individual really does not help you. I mean, it really does not. In fact, it can prove to be most consequential. I'll give you an example. Today, I'm out with some people. Now, I kind of consider these cats to be not my friends, but acquaintances that certainly I could trust to sleep around, you know what I mean? Not intimately, but I could take a nap in their presence and not worry about not waking up or some kind of crazy shit, right? Because let's be honest, this is a season now when you must be concerned about that. If you are not concerned about if you can trust the person next to you while you're sleeping, I would recommend you listen to my words and you begin to think about that. Can I trust this person while I'm sleeping? While I am at my most vulnerable, will this person try to harm my vessel? They cannot harm your consciousness, so don't worry about that, but they can definitely harm your vessel, right? Anyways, I'm riding with them. It's my car, but it's easier because it's a husband and wife pair, right? They're both from here, and so they know the area much easier than me because I'm not from here. So when I'm driving around, I need directions or a GPS. But the way the cops are, if your movements aren't fluid, like you know what you're doing, they're gonna pull you over and see what's going on, right? There's a lot of drugs here, so I think they're just on eggshells about the drugs and stuff. Even though they're probably the ones bringing them in, honestly. Anyways, so I'm like, well, you know what? You just drive, and we'll just see how that goes. You know, I don't normally trust people to drive my car, But there was something about this brother that I found to be trustworthy enough to drive my car. As we're driving, I was in the passenger seat, and I'm thinking, you know what? His wife is in the back seat. Maybe it would be more appropriate if I get into the back seat, and that way she can be in the front seat. And that way, you've got Ozzy and Harriet, and they're riding together. Sunday stroll, you know what I mean? Blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, okay, we'll do that then. So I get out of my comfort zone to go to the back seat, because the back seat is a bit smaller. I've got long legs. And I want her to feel validated. And I want her to feel that I respect her relationship, as well as him to know that I respect their relationship. And I am appreciating them, if you will, by sitting in the back seat of my own car, right? Well, what do these two start doing in the front seat? They start whispering. Now, but first, they turn the radio up very loud, thinking that I can't hear them talk. Well, I could not make out exact words, but I'm an empath, which means I can read your energy signatures. So when you are thinking about something, let me start that way. When you're thinking about something, that thought is spirit. That spirit has a specific energy frequency. The more closer to love it is, the higher the vibration. The more closer to hate it is, the lower the vibration. So I can tell, based upon the energy readings, what type of conversation this is, right? I can't necessarily hear the words because they got the radio very loud. And I have extra supersonic hearing right now, so I can hear far away, but if you've got loud radio, it's all I can hear, and it's very ear-piercing. I feel bad for my cat because for so long I was listening to loud music, never appreciating what supersonic hearing was like until I got it, and now it's like I can't handle loud noises very well. I mean, it's not that I can't handle them, but they're very uncomfortable, honestly. They're uncomfortable, that's all I can tell you. So I'm getting this impression that they're trying to kill me, actually. They want my car, they're going to sell it, they're going to take it to a chop shop. I don't know exactly the method of death that they were trying to go for. I was thinking gunshot, but then I was also getting images of me being like beaten with like, I don't exactly know, but it was not working because I already, as soon as I started getting these downloads, I was like, yeah, we're going to put a stop to that right now, right? Like, I'm not your average. You understand? I'm not your average. I might look average to you. I might even look less than average to you, and I'm glad. Underestimate me, because I promise you, you only have one opportunity to do that. All right? Anyways, so I immediately brought that energy to whatever timeline that was. I brought it to an end. That's what we're not going to do today. You understand? I'm like, they sent you two, and you two you didn't do no research on me. You don't know who I am. You don't even know what I can do, man. Hell, I don't even know what I can do completely. But I know one thing I can do, and that is block negative energy. But not just block it. I can do offense and defense. So the defense is to block that energy, set up a perimeter around my vessel so that that energy cannot even penetrate into me. However, I can also play offense, which means I'm going to send that negative energy that they sent to me, I'm sending it right back to them, but with a gift. Times 10,000 fold instantly, which means whatever intent they had, you multiply that intent by 10,000, and that is what they're going to receive on their end. It can come in any form. I don't know, because it doesn't really work. Spirit doesn't, according to the Hermetic text, spirit is unknowable and also undefinable. For the human mind to begin to comprehend exactly what spirit is and how it works, it's pointless, because you're just going to go in circles. Don't even try to do it. I did, and I spent a day in a crick upside down. So I reversed that energy, you know what I mean? At first I was very afraid, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, oh my God, they're going to kill me, right? And then I got to thinking to myself, whoa, how exciting. I get to go home? You mean I get to leave this fucking shithole? I get to go home and see my family. How exciting. And then I realized, you know what was I afraid of exactly? Should I have been afraid at all? I don't think so. And then I welcomed it. I'm like, you know what? Let's try this again. I accept the challenge because I want to see two things. A, what they're capable of, and B, what I'm capable of, right? I've never actually tested myself in battle like this because I've never had to. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, well, sure, spirits and stuff like that come for you, but you learn very quickly how to protect yourself. You know what I mean, and how to evade and whatever else. You know what I mean, until you can not rationalize with them, but until you can communicate with them in a respect that each of you has an understanding of each other, and you basically leave each other alone. You know what I mean? So I sent that energy back right away. So I'm not even concerned with that anymore. I thought to myself, well, I don't have to go around them anymore. Certainly, they don't drive, and I do, so I choose my destination, right? But guess what? I'm going to choose to go back there tonight again. Because I want to see, like I told you, I want to know what I can do. I have not taken this baby out for a test run in a very long time. And I want to see what progress I've made. I'm very curious, right? Now, as a god, I know that they could not stop me and they cannot kill me. They could not harm me because their low vibrational self can only harm other low vibrational creatures. I'm not low vibrational. I'm not as super high vibrational as I should be, but it's because I'm on a mission right now. So those of you that are advanced esoteric beings, uh, when I tell you I'm on a mission, I know that you'll understand that because you too are on a mission. And we understand that when we are on missions, you can't really, you can't get the cheat codes. You have to go through it, everything. You got to get the good and the bad in order to gain the full momentum of the experience to get the most learning out of it. So I can't not do it. You know what I mean? I can't run. I'm not going to run. There's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why there are most of the people that I came in contact with from Fort Myers to Tampa. Everywhere I went, they recognized me. I'm like, how do you even recognize me? I don't even know any of you creatures. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Because the only thing that matters to me is that they know who I am. That's it. And they are self-sabotaging, but also community sabotaging. So that's a constant issue I have. But I lately have been having more fun with them than anything because I recognize that I'm beginning to learn my true potential. And this is one of the ways that the universe is showing me what my potential can be. You know what I mean? This is not an absolution. It's not final. This is just but one example of, just one example. That's all. You know what I mean? So understand that at the end of the day, this is just energy. That's all that it is, y'all. And it's nothing more and it's nothing less. But energy is amazing, of course, but it's still just energy. Which means all you can do with it is transmute it. You can only change the form. You can never kill it. You can never create it. It's always there. Just love it and accept it, right? But know that no matter what you do, you can only change it. You can never do anything else. You understand? So I'm not really worried about the other things. You know what I mean? And I need you to understand a few concepts, right? So many melanated people right now are in their emotions, and so when let's say for instance that we have a partner and a partner, right? I don't care if it's boy and boy or girl or boy and girl, whatever, doesn't matter. But they're older, you know. Let's say they're in their 30s or whatever. They both have families, right? So the female and the male, or we'll say it's a female and a male, just so for argument's sake, she believes that they're having an argument. Well, she tells her family one side of the story, right? She doesn't tell them both sides. She just tells them her side, making it look like he attacked her, right? So then her family immediately, without asking what the other side is, they're already on board with her, and they're ready to fight him and kill him and string him up and all this other craziness. They don't even know the facts of both sides of the story. They never even brought the two together to try to mediate them, to bring forth compromise and actual conflict resolution. So the conflict is never resolved, right? But her family's upset. Well, the boyfriend, he tells his family only his side of the story. So it looks like she attacked him. Now, his sisters, his grandma, his mom, his aunties, his cousins, they're all ready to fight the girl because they're emotional about what she did to him. Meanwhile, either one of them said what they did to the other one, right? And that's important. You must know both sides of the story. Stay out of your emotions, people. You must stay out of your emotions. Because if you do not, you will succumb to them, my people. You must stay out of your emotions. Critically think, problem solve, apply yourself to this stuff. Use your brain, honestly. That's why you got it. It's not just a decorative piece. It's an actual functional organ. Try it out sometime, right? Especially for the upcoming days, my brothers and sisters, because we can manifest, y'all. And so when you manifest in your timeline, essentially what you're doing is taking an image, putting it into your imagination, and holding it, concentrating on it. See it from all angles, and then apply emotion to it. The greater the emotion you apply to it, it can be good or bad emotion. It can be sorrow. It could be extreme euphoria. It could be sadness. It could be happiness. It could be you're crying. It could be you're laughing. Whatever the emotion is, apply as much of it as you can while you are concentrating on that image. And that is how you manifest. It will literally come forth from the spirit into the physical realm in a new timeline that you created. It sounds very difficult, but really it's not. But for many of us, it is, because unfortunately, America has destroyed our imaginations on a large scale because of television. So when you're watching TV, like if you're reading a book, you're using your mind to create a picture of what you're reading. That is how you use your imagination and how you strengthen it. However, if you are using your eyes to watch a picture, your mind is not creating, your imagination is not working. You know what I mean? The picture is already provided for you. All you got to do is look at it. That's it. Which means your imagination over time is going to be damaged, honestly. And in some cases, it's permanently destroyed. I don't think it's permanently destroyed in me, but it is very difficult for me to focus at this time. I'm still working on it. Meditation is a good way to reverse that. Also, reading. The more you read, you can also help to reverse that. But I'm working to better imagine a picture and then apply emotion to it, because it's very tricky, you know what I mean? Like, and it seems like it's so easy, like birthday cake, yeah, I love birthday cake, you know what I mean? But you're kind of like, birthday cake, oh, phone is ringing, oh, kitty's here, car needs washed, I need to get gas, I need to get groceries. That's what happens, you know what I mean? Your mind is not focused. So all of those different things that you're thinking about at that moment when you're trying to manifest will manifest, but only a small amount of your emotion is going to be applied to each one, which means it's going to take some time, okay? It's going to take some time. And there's no guarantee as to how much time, because time is an illusion anyway. So, with that being said, I blocked their what they were trying to do. That's the point of this video, is that if you are a highly advanced esoteric being, you must understand that the life forms you see around you that appear to be human, in most cases, they are not human. They never even walk this planet as a human. They are only in a human costume, a meat sack, if you will. But in that is not a human. So you cannot expect human qualities. You cannot expect mercy. You cannot expect compassion, love, kindness, sincerity, authenticity. You cannot expect any of those qualities to come from these creatures, simply because they are not human. And they are here to harm you. They want to maintain a sense of control. And by keeping us docile and at bay, they can do that more readily because we are the powerhouses. It is with us that we, once we are awakened completely, awaken the masses almost instantly. And they know this, right? This is why many of us have been in a reclusive type of situation, because it's for our protection, because if the wrong ones find out who and what we are and where we are, they're going to come for you on a level that until recently I had no idea what that meant. You know what I mean? Until I was made a target out here, I had no idea that I had no idea what that meant. Now I do. I have a new respect for it. So that lesson, I could have been like, oh, woe is me, you know what I mean? And to some degree I was, but I wasn't using it to get pity. I was using it for understanding. Like, look, there are some forces this is what I'm telling my family and friends. I'm like, hey, there are some forces at work here that I do not fully understand, honestly. But I can tell you that they have absolutely every intent to harm me on every level, you understand? And that includes when I'm trying to get jobs with like People Ready and stuff. Because literally everybody knows all around here, you know what I mean? For a couple hours in either direction, it means that the managers, they don't, as soon as they see my name or picture, they automatically dismiss if I signed up for the job, they send it back. Oh, it's filled. I mean, it happens so much anymore. It never happened before, but now all of a sudden it does, right? Okay, that just is coincidental. Not at all. Anyways, my point is they attack you on every level. I've got people, it never stops. Anyways, what made me a target is the fact that I am unapologetically proud of myself no matter what. And if I watch a little porn in my car, I'm still proud of myself. I don't care. Well, I mean, when you look at these people that are judging me, they probably have got prostitutes locked up in their basements. But you're going to judge me for watching a little porn in my car? Okay. Yeah, you're the moral authority, right? Their ancestors, the palefaces, their ancestors literally created the word and action for rape and pedophilia. But suddenly today, they're the moral authority. So everybody listen up. They are the moral authority. Wink. Anyways, I don't buy any of that bullshit. And whatever their opinions are of me, however dangerous, because here's the problem. Rumors get started very easily. And if you know anything about the game of telephone, you know that when it started at telephone number 1, and by the time it got to number 10, the message wasn't even the same. I mean, you could go from a loving, happy, yay, to a dark, depressive, violent, volatile type of message. You have no idea. It just depends on whatever embellishments each individual wants to add to the initial message, right? So I don't know what the rumors are. Nobody will actually validate that they even know them, you know what I mean? But I can tell them because I can tell by the way they look at me, and they recognize me with this hatred in their faces. It's like, how could you hate me that much? And you literally have never met me. I've never met you, so obviously we don't know each other. So how could you have that much hatred for me, right? It's because they're not human. They're not humans that we would understand. They might be in a human form, but they're not humans. So that means that hatred might be all they know. They never knew love, so they cannot express love. They don't know compassion. All they know is suffering. You understand me? That's the dimension they came from, and that's what they can do. And that's what they do. You know what I mean? That's why they're here, is to bring about your suffering, so that they can basically parasitically feed off your energy. For if you are a strong enough god or goddess, they can feed off you for eternity. There's no exhausting our energy, y'all. Nothing can exhaust it. So they would always have a food supply for their entire existence. And it would just never end, right? And that's kind of how America was. Like, it was just this perpetual, we're on the bottom and the pale faces are on the top, even though in nature they'd be on the bottom and we'd be on the top. But because of the unnatural circumstances we find ourselves in the blood magic and sacrifices, they find themselves on the top. But really, they're falling down every day more and more. So the truth is, we will be back on top very soon here. At which point, I certainly hope that we get to exact a little vengeance, if you get my drift. Anyways, I just want y'all to know that if you have special abilities, you must protect your abilities at all costs right now, because you're not safe. And don't think that just because it's your mother or your father, or they look like your siblings or cousins or your aunties, hell, even your pet. I've been wondering if my cat is even the same anymore. She just doesn't act the same like she used to, right? She's a totally different. She's still her. When I look into her eyes, I still see her, but I don't feel her like I used to. And it's very weird, you know what I mean? Like, I'm beginning to wonder if she's even the same cat I grew up with, that I took care of, that I nursed, and you know what I mean? I don't know. So I'm just telling you to keep an open mind, because I don't necessarily know how deep this rabbit hole goes, which means there could be more. There's so many illusions here that are just designed to keep you in your emotions. That's all I'm going to tell you. Keep an open mind. Anything is possible at this point. And you need to know that. And that works in your benefit. Hell, if anything is possible, then that means we can unify as a community, and we can uncreate the pale faces as a collective, so that we might have a few scattered here and there, but overall, we don't have enough of a collection that are going to try to do some nefarious things and steal land and resources and minerals and things. So we understand that. We'll handle business, you know what I mean? But for right now, there's nothing we can do, certainly, other than just stay focused. But I just want you to know that if you are special, we are all special, y'all. We can all do the exact same things, because we all come from the same initial energy, right? We're just a different expression of that energy, which means we're the same thing, just a different concept of the energy. Whatever it wanted to experience is what it experienced in you, you know what I mean? When you transition, your energy, to some degree, goes back to the creator source to basically offload the information that was gained. And then it is reborn into something else to learn new information. This is the cycle of existence. It would never end, and it never began, and it never ends, if that makes sense. So I'm not really worried about I have no concerns about these things, but I would like us to unify as quickly as possible. But you must stay out of your emotions, because if you keep falling prey to your emotions and you get angry and you're yelling and you're screaming, that means that you're giving your energy, at least to some degree, to whoever your focal point is. Whoever you're mad at or yelling at or whatever else, they're getting your energy. It's not necessarily a good thing, because they want to get your energy. They want to steal it. Let me give you another example of how this works. I used to take vitamins a lot, right? And I was in the vitamin shop, and this pale-faced guy came behind me. Now keep in mind, it's not just the pale faces. Listen, there are creatures in all skin forms, all skin colors. It doesn't matter. They're in all of them. Black folks, yellow folks, red folks, purple folks, whatever. They're in all of them. It does not, just because the individual appears melanated, it does not mean that they are. Understand that. I'm learning that lesson myself, because I've always given our community a special pedestal, right? But I can't anymore, because it's getting me eaten alive in a lot of cases. And it almost got me in a very sticky situation earlier, that if I wasn't for my intuition, I would have walked right into a trap. You feel what I'm saying? So another part of this story is follow your intuition. Trust yourself. Trust your heart. Know what you got to do, right? But anyways, so I was able to evade this situation based upon my intuition, and knowing that I get images. That's how my intuition usually works. And I'll get a sensation, good or bad. You know what I mean? It'll feel like, if it's going to be a good thing, it'll feel like hot cocoa and Cool Whip on a cold day. You know, you're like, ooh, that tastes so good. Or if it's going to be bad, I get anxiety. My heart palpitates. my hair stands up, my skin gets clammy, and my heart is just like, and I'm like, okay, something's not right here. I don't know exactly what, but something's not good. I gotta go from this situation. Not that I'm running from it. No, no, no. I'm not gonna run, but I might get out of that situation so that I can properly assess it. Now that doesn't mean I'm gonna run away completely. It just means that I'm gonna get to an area where I can feel safe. And when I'm safe, now I can focus on what's going on. Now let me re-examine this situation. Once it's re-examined and I feel confident that I can properly assess it and handle it, then I will go back in that bitch and I will handle that shit very well. You understand me? And that's how I now move, because what's coming next, y'all, is a purge. I mean, we're already in a purge, but it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get a lot worse. And you don't have to believe me. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you do or not. Well, I do, because the ancestors wouldn't tell me if they didn't want you to look. If they didn't want to keep you safe, they wouldn't tell me. You know, because trust me, it's not me. For the most part, most of you that I've come in contact with, especially here, I want to watch your asses suffer. So if this was left up to me, I wouldn't say a motherfucking thing to any of you. I think you're all ungrateful little bastards, and what's coming is well deserved. I really do believe that. But this is not a video for me. This is a video from our ancestors who love us all equally, and they're not bound by an ego, and I still am. So my vengeance comes from how I was treated, and I have a little bit of a vengeance associated with that. But as soon as my ego dies, that vengeance goes away, because you have no more reason to be in your ego. Once it's defeated, once you defeat it, then it no longer needs to protect you. And that's basically the idea of an ego, is to keep your mind safe, basically, by building walls and barriers and, different booby traps and things. So if somebody tries to come knocking, you're going to knock them down before they ever even get to the inside of your body, inside of your mind, you know what I mean, where you can actually be vulnerable and potentially be harmed. I don't know if you ever fell in love when you were younger, but when you did, and then the person ended up breaking up with you, whatever the case was, your heart was so broken. It was so broken. You were just like, I'll never get over this. Oh my God, I'm dying. I feel so terrible. Well, ultimately, you do get over it. Ideally. Now, some people do kill themselves. I feel bad, but they just weren't strong enough to make it. That's okay. They'll come back, and they'll come back stronger. No worries. That's the purpose of life. You'll come back stronger. But I thought I'd never make it. You know what I mean? Oh my God. But I'll tell you, from that point forward, anytime my heart was broken after that, it never hurt like it did that first time. And today, you could actually, because I'm still kind of a hopeless romantic, but it's not as easy, because I don't give you the attention, and your opinion doesn't matter to me. I don't care what your feelings are. You know what I mean? Like, go fuck yourself. Period.